What up you guys, Mirez here with an updated Thor build order. As you may have noticed, Thor has received quite a few nerfs. Dwarves now gather gold considerably slower, and Hammer of Thunder is now 10 favor, so that's off the table in the Archaic Age. So this is an updated Thor build order that allows you to age up at 430-ish with still all 3 copper armory upgrades. And at the end of the video I'm also going to show you a faster variant. So without further ado, we're going to make 2 dwarves, 2 gatherers, and then other 2 dwarves, just like the previous build order I posted. And put the first spawning dwarves on gold. And make an armory close to your gold mine. Because all the dwarves from the armory will go onto gold. So first 2 dwarves onto gold, then 2 gatherers onto wood, then 1 additional dwarf onto wood, and then just dwarves onto food. So it's not that complicated build order wise, it's just a lot of micro to get the deer towards your town center. So now I have 5. And I'm not going to use this tree, that would be better, because it's a slower drop-off point, but to show you this build actually works, I'm just going to put a different tree, get copper mail as soon as you have your armory done, and start herding. Now I like to divide my wood gatherers over 2 trees, because otherwise the tree will be depleted at the worst possible timing, so just put divide them over 2. Unless you get one very close to an ox cart, then I suppose you can do without. And now I'm just gonna put dwarves onto food. Shoot the ones close to your town center. And as soon as you hear you're close to being housed sound, you can get the copper shield upgrade. Now my deer are not helping me here, but that's fine. I suppose that's the demo effect. And just get the house. Don't be housed. I'm pretty close here, but I should be fine. But get a house as soon as you are able to afford one. And around this time you can get copper weapons, but don't get it too soon. Make sure you have at least 150 gold, so you won't get an idle town center because of it. So now I actually can do a little bit of scouting. With better herding you can do more scouting, but that's really beside the point of this video, so I'm just gonna pretend I did a good job scouting here and continue with the build order. Because as soon as we have 135 wood and 150 gold, we will place our temple, and then we need to force drop in order to not have an idle town center. So bear with me. There we go. So that's the only complicated part of this build, is that you need this force drop, otherwise your town center will be idle or your temple will be delayed, which ends up in a slower age up. So around this time you can pre-queue your preferred god. And a little tip, you can shift select all your wood gold food gatherers and then just seek shelter as soon as your villager is done. And now I'm aging up. And at this point you want to grab a few gold villagers, dwarves, and put them onto wood. And you want to get another house. There we go. And maybe also 1 or 2 from your food. Get a herder out, usually pretty much the usual stuff. You might want to pre-queue Hammer of Thunder as well, because it is an additional dwarf, which is very useful. And all the wood gatherers can now also go here. So yeah, pretty much normal gameplay from this point. I should be up around 4:30. It might be a few seconds slower because some idle time at the start of the game, but a perfect execution you get 4:30. So now stick around if you want a build order that allows you to age up at 4:15 without copper weapons. Cheers. So the 4:15 build starts off pretty much the same. We're going to make 2 dwarves onto gold, then 2 gathers onto wood, and then an additional dwarf onto wood, and then the rest onto food. But the devil's in the details. Our armory is going to be slightly different. So just going to start the game. 2 dwarves, 2 gatherers, and then RTQ dwarves. And we're going to make a armory. It doesn't need to be close to gold actually, because the dwarves won't go there. But it might be useful for shielding it in a real game. Because ideally you want to place it between wood and food source. But I think shielding it is better. I'm gonna hotkey this guy and gonna tell it to go over there, and our armory dwarf will go over here, I suppose. We're not gonna use this tree once again because we want our build order to always work. We're gonna move the cows out of the way, and now we're gonna put 2 gatherers. I suppose one over here. Get copper mill as soon as the armory is finished. And start herding your deer towards your town center. I like to start at the back, because then you can push them. As you can see, I push this deer a little bit. Makes them move further. Or faster, I should say. But don't make sure your dwarf goes onto wood first, because that often happens when you start shooting your deer with your town center, that your wood villager will go onto food accidentally. And once again, as soon as you hear the house sound, we get copper shields. Man, this stupid deer won't move, but oh well, we don't need it to age up. And now we can make a house. And our first wood dwarf has been made from our armory, and the next dwarf will go onto food. I'm gonna try to hurt this deer here. It might be more worthwhile to start scouting at this point, but I'm on a mission to get this deer over there. And once again, as soon as you have 135 wood, you want to place your temple down. As you can see, 245, so that means it should be done at 315, which means a 415 advance. So that works out nicely. So no copper weapons, but we can get it while aging up. So it's not that much of a downside. It's slower, of course, but aging up slightly faster also has its benefits on certain matchups. Like Norse Wars, for instance. So at this point we can pre-queue our preferred minor god. And once again select our wood food villagers and tell them to seek shelter. And there we go, we're off to the races. So let's grab 2 gold dwarfs and 2 for food. You probably want to make a Hershey before you get copper weapons. It really depends on whatever you're planning to do. So as you can see, I'm still getting copper weapons, so it's still getting there, just slightly later. And well, my second Hershey was slightly delayed, but with some force dropping, it should be there. You can make them like back to back. So this was the 415 build. I'm not sure if I quite reached 415. Let's check. 416. So 1 second of error, I suppose. I think it's with the startup. I'm not sure where those seconds come from. But in any case, if you like to see more content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys the next time. Cheers.